Hello there and welcome to In the Studio, episode 113. Today I have a handful of FL Studio tidbits for you, some workflow tips, some production tips. Some of these are fairly well known, some not so much. Hopefully you learned something here. I haven't done one of these types of videos for quite some time, so I thought it was time. Okay, so let's just jump right in. Tip number one. I have this atmosphere sound here. And on this track I have a low pass filter. Say I want to introduce some movement to this low pass filter. I could set up an LFO, or I could just right click, create an automation clip, and use the LFO that's built into the automation clip. So I'm going to hit this little icon, channel settings, and enable the LFO here. And you have an LFO built right in. There you go. It's just a handy little tool. It's built right into the automation clip, and it's there for you to use. All right, second tip. On the same track, the atmosphere, I have a fruity balance right here. I'm going to right click and create an automation clip for the volume. And what I'm going to do is actually go into the same area, the channel settings, but I'm going to head over to this wrench tab and select Analyze Audio File. This is just one of my sample packs with a bunch of top loops. So I'm going to hit that, and it'll analyze the audio file, and then it'll give this sustained atmosphere sound a rhythm. Which is cool. And then what you can also do is head back to the wrench tab, and you can flip this too. So this is great for giving a sustained style sound some rhythmic qualities. You could do some side chaining effects. Maybe you have some sort of drum loop that you want to layer with some white noise. You can put that on a white noise track, analyze the audio file so it's bouncing exactly with the groove or loop. So there's a lot of creative possibilities there. So yeah, moving on. Tip number 3. So I have this kick drum here. So you can hear it's a very long kick. More often than not, I find myself shortening up kicks to make my grooves tighter, to make more space for everything else in the track. And one way that I like to do that is in the actual sampler. So I'm going to head over to Mod X, which is our filter modulation. I'm going to turn this down, turn the amount up, the attack in, the hold in, sustain, and release all in. You can use the decay to kind of shorten it up. But to get an even tighter sound, try out these tension curves down here. And yeah, play around with the tension curve. Sometimes it's exactly what the sample calls for to help it fit into the mix or the groove that much, tighter, if you will. So that's the tip. Try out using those tension curves because they can really help when you're sound designing drum hits or whatever it may be. The next thing I wanted to talk about is actually in the sampler as well, and that is over on the volume envelope. one thing that you can maybe try to do is use this delay. So say you have like a percussion loop, a synth loop, some sort of ARP, whatever it is. Try like automating the delay slightly so it kind of drifts off the grid, back on the grid, and you can give it like a random LFO wave or whatever. But that's just a great way to introduce a little human feeling to whatever it is you apply that on. So yeah, play around with this delay. It can be your friend. Okay, next thing I wanted to talk about is the scale highlight. So this is a piano roll tip. So let's head to the piano roll. And down here, this little drop down, helpers, and scale highlight. So say I'm working in F minor. This is the minor scale, so I'm going to head to F, and it's going to highlight all of the notes that are in the F minor scale. So this will help you out if you don't know music theory that well, and you want to make sure that you're in the proper scale. This can really help you out. And it's just right here for you. Say I want to, let's do a harmonic F, yeah, and it'll change it up for you so you can stay in key. Nice and handy. Okay, the next thing I want to show you is how to create groups in the playlist here like I have, and how you can move them around. So to create a group, it's super easy. Let's just create one really quick. Say I want to make a new one for keys. I can just rename this one keys, and then all of, maybe I want 4 or 5 tracks in the group. So right click, group at the above track, group at the above track. You can do this for however many tracks you want in the group. And then say you want to rearrange the order in which these are in your playlist. You hold shift while you're hovering over the keys or whatever it is that you want to move, and then you use your scroll wheel to move this up and down in your playlist to reorganize it, which can just be very handy when you're maybe in the arrangement, you want to move things around, keeping things organized, but yeah. And the last tip is quite important if you don't know about it, but it's setting the autosave. So we're going to go to File, and actually no, Options and File Settings, and right here the backup. I think this is set to never, just remind every 10 minutes. I have mine set to occasionally every 10 minutes, so it's going to auto save my project every 10 minutes, and you can set it to whatever you want in case your computer crashes, FL Studio crashes or something, power goes out, whatever it is. I'm sure you've been there where you've lost, work on a project. It's extremely frustrating. So make sure to set your backup so it saves automatically. And then if something does happen, you can just go File, revert to last backup, and it'll pull up the project at its last save point. So yeah, those are a handful of FL Studio tidbits for you. That's it for today. Take care.